I hope y'all are doing well. I was thinking about my 16th birthday, and I remember I begged my mom. I was like, Mom, I gotta have a beeper. Please let me have a pager. That was like the hottest thing for a 16-year-old at the time, man. It's funny. I really didn't even need one. I didn't have a whole lot of friends. The people that I hung out with, I saw them in person almost every day. And, I never really talked to anybody on the phone. And on top of that, if you know me, I'm 95% deaf. Like, I can't even hear on the phone all that well. So I never really liked the phone. So a pager, a beeper was never really something that I needed. I just wanted. And, if you don't know what a pager or a beeper is, it was something it was like this big. And it was a way that we communicated with each other, before cell phones were around. And the way it worked was you would call the pager number, and you would wait for a beep. I believe it would like make a tone. And then you would dial the number that you would want the person to call. And so then I would have my pager, and then on the pager, the number would show up, and I would call that person back. It was like, I guess like a call ID or hey, call me kind of thing. And, it's funny. I think it was also the first type of text messaging, I believe, because you could also dial a number and you would flip it up and it would say hello, or my mom was saying, I love you. We could message each other that way. We never knew who it was from though, because once you type in that number, if you typed in hello, that was it. We didn't know who sent that hello. But, I just remember, having to have one. And then I was thinking about it, we have come so far, right? We have come so far from having a pager, having to go to a phone, dialing a number, dialing another number, and then wait for that person to call us back, to immediately being able to text message each other like that, like boom, in an instant of a second, we can just text each other. And it's just crazy how far we have come. And it made me think, talking to some of the kids these days and some of the people my age, sometimes we lose a little bit of gratitude of the things that we have. Sometimes we're not grateful of the things that we have because we want things right away. We want things now. Like we pick up our tablets, we pick up our devices, and we want that news right away. Like we get mad if we found out yesterday's news today, right? We want to know now. Why didn't you tell me today? Why it happened 4 hours ago? Like we can't wait 4 hours. We need to know now. And I'm a victim of it too. I do it every now and then. I get so impatient. I need to know everything right away. I can't wait. And, we lose a sense of gratitude, and it's not a good thing. Not having gratitude, appreciation for the things around us leads us down this very dark road. It leads us down this bad path that we do not want to get on. Gratitude, definition of gratitude is the appreciation of the benefits received. What gratitude is not, it's not conditional, right? It's not, oh, you gave it to me, now I am thankful. Oh, I didn't get it, I'm not thankful. That's not gratitude, right? Gratitude is not guilting somebody into giving you something. Gratitude recognizes the benefits, the value, and the source that it come from. Right? We recognize and we understand, hey, I'm thankful for that, regardless of who gave it to us, how it came to us, where it came from. We are just thankful and grateful for those things. The God says in Romans 1:19-21, he had made himself known to us. Even if we don't have the Bible, even if we don't have the written word, he has made himself known to us by the grass, the trees, the sun, the sky, all the things around us is created by God for God. And just the way things works. I know you and I have seen crazy things, and we have to think there's no way, by chance or possibility, that this have happened just by a mere fraction of a chance, right? It had to happen because there's a God in heaven who loves us. There's a God in heaven who wants to show us his glory, his grace, and he's showing us these things. It's amazing. We're like, oh my gosh, there's no way that could have happened by chance. That is God. That's how God makes himself known to us. And if we don't be appreciative or grateful for those things, it goes down a very dark path. You know, if you read Romans 1:19-21, it says, because what may be known of God is manifest in them, for God has shown it to them. For since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by things that are made, even his internal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because although they knew God, they did not glorify him as God, nor were thankful, but became futile in their thought, and their foolish hearts were darkened. I don't want my heart darkened, right? We don't want our heart darkened. We don't want our heart hardened because we're not being grateful. You know, what do we lose when we're not grateful? There are 4 things that we can lose when we're not grateful. The first thing is life becomes mundane. Right? Life becomes boring. We lose all sense of wonder. Right? I remember when AOL came out, right? And that dial-up noise and then, and made all those weird noises and that we could email each other. And again, you know, at that time, I never really had anybody to email, but the thought process of going from pen pal letters, do y'all remember pen pal letters? Waiting 6 to 8 weeks to get a letter back from somebody, to we could write a letter to somebody and they would get it immediately, and they could write a letter back within the same day, within the same hour. Like, that's amazing. Like, think about that. Like, we went from pen pal letters to email to now we can even text WhatsApp. We can in a mere second. We can respond and have a full-blown conversation with somebody across the world. Like, how amazing is that? Like, you gotta be grateful for those things. It's like, man, that's crazy. And then we often take that for granted, right? We often forget how far we have come in life that we're not grateful for the little things, that we are actually able to reach out to a relative, a friend, halfway across the world, where 100 years ago, they couldn't do it like that. So we gotta be grateful in these small things. We gotta be grateful, and because if we don't, we lose that sense of wonderment, that sense of awe. Like even nature, right? Sometimes we drive by, you know, I'm from Texas and from Houston, and if you drive down 290 at a certain time of the year, then you can see bluebonnets across the entire field. One year I took my wife, you know, we went to go see, I believe we drove 2 hours, 3 hours, just to go see a sunflower field. And as far as the eyes could see, sunflowers. I'm talking sunflowers tall as me, beautiful. You could just walk through the sunflowers and it's just, you know, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it right now. Just being in this wonderment of God's creation, like, this is a beautiful thing. And I got to experience it with my wife, and I got to experience it with my 2 kids at the time. And it's just, those little things matters a lot, and it gives you that life, right? It gives you that appreciation for life, and it gives you that happiness, that joy, and that joy for God's creation. You don't want to miss out on that. Another thing that we lose is we lose a sense of value. We lose the value. We lose the value of things. The value of things that people do for us. You know, we lose the value of the things that your parents do for you, the value of the things that your children do for you. You know, when you're not grateful to the things that your parents have done for you, you lower the value of your parents. You know, and sometimes we forget that our parents have made a lot of sacrifices to be where we are today. And we as parents, if you're a parent, we make a lot of sacrifices for our kids today. But sometimes we also have to understand that parents, our kids do little things, you know, like I love my 5-year-old daughter. And when I ask her to clean, she is not the best cleaner. I tell her every night she needs to clean the room. She needs to clean off the table. She has certain things that she has to do. And sometimes she'll do it without telling me. Now, it's not the best job, right? She'll go and clean up the table, but there's still ketchup smear all over the table and whatnot. But if I'm not appreciative and grateful for her actually trying to do the things that I asked her to do, I put a lower value on the things that my daughters have done. Instead of, you know, bringing her up and saying, thank you, Isla, thank you for helping me out, and trying to and go out there and help her and show her that I'm appreciative. If I say, oh, you forgot this and you forgot that and you forgot this, imagine how it makes my 5-year-old daughter feel. And I place a value on her lower, and she's going to value herself lower. So it's very important that we are grateful for the things that our parents do for us, and we're grateful for the things that our kids do for us, or our friends, our family members. We need to be grateful for them, because if we're not, then we lose that value. Right? And we put our parent, we bring our parents down to a lower value, or these people down to a lower value. And that's something that we definitely don't want to do. We lose sense of rest. When we're not appreciative of things, we no longer have rest. I think what happens is, it's like for example, you might want the newest phone, you might need the newest iPad, you might need the newest this or newest that, or even if it's not the newest thing, right? We just need it now. We need something. We need it now. We need it now. We need it now. And we start to idolize other things before God. Right? We stop thinking about, and we stop thanking God for the things that we do have, and we start thinking about things that we don't have, and then we lose our gratefulness for the things that we don't have, and then it's like we can't go to sleep at night, and we're always constantly thinking, when am I going to get this? How am I going to get this? What do I need to do to get this? What do I need to do this? And we just no longer glorify God for the things that He's given us, and we just idolize these things that we need constantly over and over and over, and then we're no longer at peace. So when we lose gratefulness, we lose peace. Right? When we're not appreciative of things, we lose rest. So it's important to be grateful so that we are rested in God. Yes, we do need to work hard. I'm not saying sit back and be lazy and do nothing. We need to work hard. But we don't need to idolize the things that we want or need before God. Right? Be thankful for the things that God has given you. When you're grateful for the things that God has given you, with the little that He's given you, He's going to bless you with more. So just be thankful for that. The last thing that we lose if we don't have, and one thing I did want to read real fast, I read this in the book. It says, gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns into what we have into enough and more. It turns denials into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, and a stranger into a friend. It turns problems into gifts, failures into success, failures into success, the unexpected into perfect timing, and mistakes into important events. It can turn the existence into real life, and disconnected situation into important and beneficial lesson. So it's important, guys, to appreciate the things that we have right now, and don't let that put you at unease. Don't let that make you restless. And the last thing that we lose is we lose the sensitivity of heart. Right? Like I said earlier in that verse, it said the heart was darkened, the hearts were hardened. We lose that sensitivity. Right? And then we become grumpy, ungrateful people. We become people that nobody wants to be around. Because we're always just, it's in a bad mood, and this happened and that happened, and it sucks, and somebody shortchanged us, and it sucks, and they didn't pay. Like for me, as a business owner, they didn't pay on time, and man, it ruined my whole weekend. Or you can just be grateful. You can just be grateful of the things that we have. You can be grateful of the timing. God's timing is always perfect on His timing. Sometimes that timing is not perfect on our timing, so that we think. But God's timing is always perfect. And I just wanted to talk about being grateful today. And I don't want y'all to, or even myself, to be ungrateful for the things that we have. Just constantly remember of all the things that we have. Be grateful of your parents. Be grateful of your children. Be grateful of your family members. Be grateful of your friends. Be grateful of your job. Be grateful of the things that you have right now. It may not be the exact thing that you wanted, but I promise you this. The more you thank God, the more you appreciate God, not because He gave you something, but being thankful for God, because He is God, because you're alive and breathing and watching this right now, the more God will bless you. The more you build a relationship with Him, the more you are thankful for him and say, you know what, God, I thank you for everything that you've given me, and not ask for anything in return, God is going to bless you. Listen, we are his children. We are the children of the Most High God. We are the children of the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Jehovah Jireh, my provider. God will provide you with everything you need. You know that Bible verse. He said, why are you worried about tomorrow? You see the birds of the air? What is that Bible verse? It's the birds of the air. God will take care of them. And God will take care of something as simple and as small as the birds of the air. How much more will your Father in heaven, who loves you, take care of you? So be grateful for the things that you have. Be thankful for the things you have. Hug your family members, hug your friends, hug your mom and dad, hug your children, and just be grateful. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I hope you guys are grateful for something today. I'll see y'all later.